Huge changes for a New Albany staple. We're talking about Harvest Homecoming that will not have those carnival rides of years past. Thanks for joining us here at noon on your Thursday. I'm Brooke Hash. The Harvest Homecoming Committee put that update out on social media just hours ago. Instead, the group said they are highlighting their family-friendly features like the iconic food, live music, and arts and craft booths. This comes as the festival is making sweeping security changes this year in response to the shooting at the festival in 2024. A young man was killed and he was caught in the crossfire of a shooting, and now the festival will close an hour early Friday and Saturday and will have designated entry spots you must go through to get in. Organizers said the event will be weapon-free and with more officers patrolling for security. The Larue County Board of Education is considering a tax rate that will include the nickel tax. Superintendent Adrienne Warren took to Facebook Wednesday to explain why. She said the last thing she wants to do is create a hardship for the community, but it has become clear Larue County needs a new high school. She said the current school is overcrowded and many students are traveling to other districts for trade programs and specialized learning. And if every one of those students had to return to the current building, Larue would not have enough space to accommodate them. The tax hike would help with other facility upgrades as well. So what would this look like for residents if passed? The proposed tax rate for this district is 57.2 cents per $100 of residential assessed value. That means a home valued at $100,000 will cost approximately $42 in additional dollars per year. There is a public tax hearing on Thursday, September 4th in the high school's auditorium, followed by a special board meeting at that same night at 6 o'clock.
All in favor of the motion presented?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Okay.
Well, it is the fourth proposed solar farm in Clark County and Jefferson County, Indiana, that has now been defeated. Harnessing the sun's power has sparked debate in rural county. Now, for years, many residents say they want to preserve farmland for future generations. At last night's packed meeting, we were the only station there, and Hoosiers said they are not against solar panels on homes, but they do oppose industrial farms powering businesses. Our Jose Alonso tells us that after 2 years of reworking their plans, Florida-based company Bright Night was told farmland cannot be transferred into solar farms.
The power of the sun will live on as free energy not capitalized in Clark County, Indiana.
It is. It's, and we're still neighbors.
A packed out room at the Clark County Board of Zoning Appeals meeting where the Florida-based company Bright Night's plan to rezone farmland came to an end.
All the people here in red shirts, we're not financially gaining anything from this. The other side put a lot of effort into it. They had a lot of financial gain involved. For us, this was purely about protecting our community.
But for property owners wanting to lease their land to capture the sun's rays, like Sophia's schemes, are let down.
I'm hopeful that that we are still able to push through another project, just because it's, in my opinion, it's better for the environment. Than having panels is better than spraying all the chemicals.
This was a heavy decision for the board, but in the end, they voted to deny this application by a 3-2 vote on the basis of property values, traffic impact, morals, and division of community.
We've put years into this, and to be disappointed hurts, and at times you say things you don't want to say.
On the same day, President Donald Trump releasing a statement via Truth Social about renewable energy, saying in part, quote, "We will not support wind or farmer destroying solar." And on Monday, the Secretary of the USDA stated they will no longer deploy programs to fund solar or wind projects on productive farmland.
I think it's the right action. If solar was so great, then it should be able to stand on its own. And I think our ag property, our ag ground, our food production is much more important.
Although the community looks and feels divided, there's hope they can still respect each other and see the bright side of community.
I hope we're still going to be friends. This is Sophia Skeen. She was on the other side of it. I've known her my entire life, and I actually used to farm part of the ground that this was a part of.
Now, that division was also clear on the board, as two members who say they worked on this process for years voted yes to the application. The others, which included a newly appointed member, voted no. We asked Bright Night representatives and the president of the board for interviews on this vote. Both declined to comment. Two former officers involved in the Breonna Taylor police raid 5 years ago are now facing lesser charges. Just last night, federal judge Charles Simpson in Louisville dismissed the most serious felony charges against them. They faced a possible maximum sentence of life in prison. Joshua James and Kyle Meany were charged with violating Taylor's civil rights in March of 2020. Prosecutors said they lied in the search warrant that led officers to her home, resulting in that fatal police raid. Taylor was killed when officers on scene returned fire after her boyfriend fired the first shot at them as they came through the door. Kenneth Walker claimed they never announced themselves as police. In his ruling, Judge Simpson writes that a violation of a warrant clause cannot be attributed to Taylor's death, saying that when police returned fire that night, it was not excessive force, but within their rights, that it was legal and tragic crossfire and not initiated by police. A former city employee is suing Louisville Metro government for alleged gender discrimination and retaliation. The lawsuit was filed by Jessica Thornton. She said she was fired for bringing up several concerns that her male coworkers received significantly higher salaries for less work. She told the new supervisor the pay gap was based on gender discrimination, but he said it was based upon years of service, which she argued is against the department's practice. Now, this is not the first lawsuit against Louisville Metro government. Former Deputy Mayor Keisha Dorsey was fired last year when they said she had a pattern of misconduct and job performance issues. A 16-year-old boy is charged with murder after a teenager died in a June shooting. That arrest comes in connection with the June 23rd homicide. It happened on Ridgecrest Avenue in the Newburgh neighborhood. We were told the boy died at the scene because the suspect is a minor. Police did not release his name. 4 people are in jail after a deadly home invasion in Lebanon, Kentucky, just over an hour south of Louisville. From left to right, take a look at your screen. They are 32-year-old Tyler Gunn, who is charged with murder and robbery. Then 18-year-old Allison Levers, 36-year-old Joshua Spalding Wells, and 18-year-old Faith Singer, all charged with complicity to murder and robbery. When officers arrived, they found 48-year-old Stephanie Keeling dead at a home in Horgan Lane in Lebanon. Officials believe the 4 entered that home, held people inside at gunpoint, and that's when Gunn shot Keeling. Bardstown police made those arrests. Kentucky State Police said it appeared to be a targeted home invasion. The Vine Grove Police Department is without one of its fire stations this week after the original firehouse caught fire on Tuesday. Take a look at the video taken by a responding officer before crews arrived. The building was severely damaged, and a 1941 antique fire truck was lost in that blaze, along with another fire truck. Fortunately, no one was hurt. The mayor there said they are grateful for the assistance provided by the American Red Cross and volunteers from other agencies. The fire marshal is investigating the cause. Still a pretty overcast day for your Thursday, but most of us would probably take it with how it feels outside, which is still just great.
Yeah, I'm glad no one at least is complaining for us with this weather. Yeah, we do have the cloudy skies, but also have the cooler conditions outside for you. So if you stepped out the door for your morning commute, yeah, absolutely feeling great outside, and we'll continue that or at least the next couple of hours before we start to see some sunshine for today, but still seeing those cloudy conditions at least for the next several hours. So look at current temperatures. Once again, another day where we're talking about temperatures into the mid-70s just around the noon hour. 77 degrees in Springfield, 74 in Shepherdsville, right here in Louisville, 76 degrees. So if you are stepping out the door for lunch, going to be a great feeling outside. Let's look at those weather headlines. It is going to feel a bit warmer heading to Friday and Saturday, but another front will come through this weekend and cool us right back down. We'll have some nice fall feeling weather on the way for us as we head towards next week. As we look at satellite and radar, still seeing these clouds roll through our area. So really most of our area into Kentuckiana, still seeing those clouds for this afternoon. That hourly planner only going to bring us into the lower 80s today, as most of those clouds will still stick around with some peaks of sunshine by the evening hours. Back into tonight, we'll fall off into the mid to lower 70s and eventually 60s on the way for your Friday. Speaking of Friday night football kicking off tomorrow, temperatures will be into the mid 80s. Eventually by 10 p.m., just as the game will be ending, we'll be into the mid to upper 70s. We do have some cooler weather on the way for next week, though. I'll be timing out what you can expect and a big cool down coming up in just a few minutes. We'll send it back over to you, Brooke.
Matthew, thank you. Washington County schools are back in session today. New this year, the district is offering an app called Meal Viewer, where students and parents can see the school's menus. You can view allergen information, nutritional information, and even the favorite meals out there. Also today, Bellarmine University welcomed approximately 3,000 new undergraduate and graduate students to campus for the first day of class. The university said the class of 2029 is the most diverse class in the university's history and largest since 2019. Officials said 39% of incoming students are students of color, a record for Bellarmine. 21% are from out of state and 53% are first-generation college students. Happening tonight, Dr. Brian Yearwood is continuing his series of public forums to hear directly from JCPS parents. You'll be able to ask questions and share your perspectives tonight from 5:30 to 7 out at Ballard High School. If you can't make it tonight, there are only 2 left on the schedule. All the events are free and open to the public.